Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Tuesday, November 15th, 2022, sitting in for Paul Harvey this morning. Stand by for the rest of the story. Well, the rest of the story is you Americans and what ifs. And I'll give you two of them. Between me and Mr. Brad Dyson, that's Dison, Dyson, who's putting a lot of Mr. Harvey stuff on the YouTube on his channel. I just subscribed to him. And I wrote him a nice comment. Mr. Dyson, if you search through YouTube and you catch me, you have the same view of Mr. Paul Harvey that I do. We got to keep his stories alive because he tried to make the American people understand where they are, where they came from, and where they should be going. But I think they all threw him down file 13 or put cobwebs in their ears. I know they got watermelons in their brains, but they don't listen to his stories. And you and I have picked two stories that they should listen to, and they haven't. One of them that you have picked and put on there was John Wilkes Booth, and the other one I'm going to put on there for you. So if you listen to me, Mr. Dyson, you might want to put this on your channel too. What if in another reality or parallel universe, has programs now have starting to do that. Star Trek, remember the reverse empire instead of this Federation, Stargate with their parallel realities, and you saw a lot of SG-1s all over the place. Can you imagine a whole bunch of SG-1s all together? That would have been fun. But here, in my story, Mr. Dyson, say, if in 1688, James II figured, okay, I've been a ruler since 1685, I'm Catholic, this is a Protestant country, let's keep it that way and try to set up a dialogue between Rome and the Anglican Church. It won't be easy, it'll take centuries. And it did take centuries, didn't it? It took till the mid-20th century under Pope Paul VI before they did that. Isn't that something? But no, he went the other way and he tried to go Bloody Mary's way, which wasn't exactly good. Well, he got deposed. And it cost the monarchy big time because when they deposed him, after the civil war they had with Cromwell, back from 1645 to 49, and Charles I lost his head. Then they had the 11 years of the Protectorate. Yeah, remember that? Well, remember, on the Parliament in 1688 asserted and put it into writing that the sovereign and sovereignty is part of the Parliament. That means that the Parliament has control, you become just a figurehead. And they also put into writing that we, from henceforth, will have only Protestant monarchs. So, they changed the line of the Stuarts. James III could not take the line, and his descendants could not take the line. So it was Queen Mary II, which was, daughter of James II, and Queen Anne, daughter of James II. James II. Both became queens. But William came in 1689, her husband of Mary, and it was William and Mary, And they also created the British Bill of Rights which the Americans modeled after themselves. Now, what happens if that didn't happen? Well, if James II would have been less watermelons in his brain and said, we'll see what happens, and instilled in the son James III that, hey, yeah, you're Catholic, keep it under control. This is a Protestant country. Keep the Stuart line going. So it would have been James III, followed by Charles III, and Henry the Ninth, which would have got you to the year 1807. That means you miss William and Mary, Queen Anne, and the three Georges. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And with that, the Americans wouldn't have had Georgia. Maybe not, right? Yeah, see what I mean? But what do you do after 1807? Well, you'll have to decide who comes after the Stuart line. Are you going to go with the German line or what? But by that time, George III was on his last legs. He would have been last king in 1820. But the British Parliament would have had to decide, but they wouldn't have had the glorious revolution of 1688. The American colonies would have been up until South Carolina. And what would they have done in 1733? They wouldn't have had Georgia. They would have to put another colony in there, maybe, maybe not. But would it have been 13 colonies? No, it would have only been 12. See what I mean? Everything gets changed. And the other one, Mr. Dyson, is the one that Mr. Paul Harvey put on there, and you stressed it in your version of it. Henrietta Irving, remember, a nice actress, 28 years old in 1861. But she got involved with the wrong guy, Johnny. Yeah. And Johnny was a sex maniac and very unwomanlike person. He didn't treat women very good, did he? Oh boy. He raped them. Big time. And he was a woman's guy. Oh, kind of like my dad. Boy. Bad Johnny. Well. And like you tell in the story, I know Henrietta found out about the other girls from Johnny's coat pocket. And she told him, as you said in your story, oh yeah, you're going to get this and that and the other. And she left. 10 minutes later, she was back with reinforcements. A big knife, if I remember you telling that story right. Yep. And she swung at old Johnny. And he used his hand to cover. Well, he got some of it in his hand, but the knife still managed to get his face a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. And you saw that mark that he had for the rest of his life. And we know what Johnny was. Everybody knows him as John Wilkes Booth. Imagine if she would have sunk that knife in him in 1861. What would have happened to Abraham Lincoln? That would have been an interesting thing, wouldn't it? Would somebody else assassinate Abraham Lincoln? Well, that's a story in another parallel universe, probably has already experienced it, and they're in a 21st century that looks a lot different than ours. Wow. See, Mr. Dyson, me and you have to keep Mr. Paul Harvey's stories alive, because these Americans, we got to get their cobwebs off their ears and their watermelons off their brains. And Mr. Paul Harvey, if you can hear me up there with the boss, now you got two of us trying to do the same story, and I'm glad Mr. Dyson has joined the party. Sitting in for Mr. Paul Harvey today, this is your favorite alien. Good day.